What if the owner of the finest luxury restaurant in town walked in one day, dressed as an ordinary man, only to be rejected at his own door? What if the people meant to serve with grace and hospitality turned out to be the very reason customers felt unwelcome? Scott Reynolds, a self-made man, had finally achieved his dream, owning La Belle Élite, a place known for its sophistication. But whispers of discrimination and arrogance among his staff reached his ears. He had to see it with his own eyes. What happened next? Well, let's just say no one expected the shocking revelation that was about to unfold. Before we dive into this powerful, eye-opening story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you believe in fairness, respect, and justice. Leave a comment below and tell us what you would have done in Scott's place. Now let's get into it. Scott Reynolds had worked his way up from nothing. He wasn't born into wealth, nor did he inherit a fortune. Every penny he had, he earned through hard work, determination, and resilience. And now, after years of perseverance, he had achieved something incredible. He had purchased La Belle Élite, one of the most exclusive fine dining restaurants in the city. The restaurant had a sterling reputation for its exquisite menu, world-class chefs, and elite clientele. But behind its luxurious facade, Scott soon discovered a disturbing truth. Some of the staff, especially certain waiters, had been treating customers differently based on their clothing and even their skin color. One evening, while reviewing business reports in his office, Scott overheard two waiters chatting outside the door. "You see that guy who walked in yesterday?" one of them said, chuckling. "Came in wearing some thrift store suit, looking all out of place. I made sure he got the slowest service possible. No way people like that belong in here." "Yeah," another voice chimed in. "You remember that black couple last week? Looked like they hit the lottery or something, trying to dine here. I accidentally spilled water on their table. They got the hint and left." Scott's hands clenched into fists. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. This wasn't just poor service. It was outright discrimination. He had built his career on fairness, on treating people with respect, regardless of their status. And here, in his own restaurant, people were being judged by their appearance and skin color. He knew he had to take action. But first, he needed proof. The next evening, Scott devised a plan. Instead of arriving in his usual sharp suit, he dressed in casual attire, old sneakers, faded jeans, and a simple hoodie. He walked into La Belle Élite like any regular customer, scanning the opulent dining area filled with guests in designer outfits and expensive jewelry. He found an empty table near the back and sat down. Within moments, a tall, clean-cut waiter named Daniel approached. His expression immediately changed to one of condescension as he looked Scott up and down. "Excuse me, sir," Daniel said, crossing his arms. "I think you're in the wrong place." Scott remained calm. "Wrong place?" "This is an upscale restaurant," Daniel continued with a smirk. "We have a strict dress code and, well, we don't serve certain types of people here." Scott raised an eyebrow. "And what kind of people would that be?" Daniel scoffed. "Look, I don't have time for this. We don't serve poor folks, and we definitely don't cater to." His voice trailed off, but the look in his eyes said everything. Scott took a deep breath, forcing himself to stay composed. "So you're saying that because of the way I'm dressed, or the color of my skin, I don't belong here?" Daniel chuckled. "Let's just say this place is for a certain level of clientele." The tension in the air was palpable. Some of the nearby diners had turned their heads, sensing the confrontation. The hostess at the front seemed unsure of what to do. A few waiters exchanged uneasy glances, aware that something wasn't right. That's when Scott slowly reached into his pocket and pulled out a set of keys. Holding them up, he let them dangle in front of Daniel's face. "I think you're the one who's in the wrong place," Scott said calmly. Daniel frowned. "What?" Scott straightened up, his voice firm and unwavering. "I own this restaurant." The color drained from Daniel's face. The nearby staff members went rigid. A few guests gasped softly, watching the scene unfold. For a moment, there was absolute silence. Then Scott turned to the other diners. "This restaurant is supposed to be a place where everyone is treated with respect. That's going to change, starting now." Scott could have fired Daniel on the spot. He had every right to. But he had a different idea. "Daniel," he said, his tone steady, "you clearly believe in treating people based on their appearance. So here's what's going to happen. You will spend the next month working in the kitchen, washing dishes. No tips, no easy shifts, just hard, honest work. After that, if you've learned something, we'll talk about whether you still have a place here. Daniel swallowed hard, his arrogance now replaced by embarrassment. I I understand. But Scott wasn't done. He turned to the rest of the staff. And let this be clear, La Belle Elite is for everyone who walks through those doors. I don't care if they're wearing a three-piece suit or jeans. They will be treated with dignity or you will not work here. The staff murmured in agreement, some looking ashamed, others nodding resolutely. The diners in the restaurant, many of whom had witnessed the encounter, began to applaud. Some even stood up, offering Scott nods of respect. That night, word spread fast. By the next day, the news had hit social media, with people praising the new owner's commitment to fairness and justice. Within weeks, La Belle Elite had transformed not just in reputation, but in atmosphere. More diverse customers came in, feeling welcomed and valued. And Daniel? He took his punishment seriously. Spending time in the kitchen humbled him. He saw how hard the staff worked behind the scenes and understood that dignity had nothing to do with wealth or race, it was about character. At the end of the month, he approached Scott. I was wrong, Daniel admitted, and I've learned my lesson. Thank you for giving me a chance to change. Scott nodded, seeing sincerity in his eyes. That's what growth is all about. Under Scott's leadership, La Belle Elite didn't just become a top-tier restaurant. It became a symbol of inclusivity and excellence. People of all backgrounds dined there, knowing they would be treated with respect. And Scott? He proved that real success wasn't just about making money, it was about making a difference. What a powerful story. Scott turned a moment of injustice into an opportunity for change. What do you think about his decision? Would you have done the same? Let's talk about it in the comments. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so more people can hear stories that matter. Until next time, stay motivated and stand for what's right.